I recently watched an episode of Emma Greed's podcast where she was interviewing Tracy Ellis Ross, and it reminded me of the power of building in niches. So, for context, they both started very successful brands. Emma Greed co founded Good American, which is a size inclusive denim brand. And she was sharing that when she started on this journey, that she was getting a lot of negative feedback around size inclusivity messaging and how that would land with consumers, when in fact, over 60% of individuals who identify as women wear a size 14 or higher. Tracy Ellis Ross then shared that she was getting similar feedback when she was starting Pattern Beauty, first as a hair care brand, that she should be creating a brand for everyone, when in reality, over 60% of consumers in the market have some form of texture in their hair. So it's a reminder that when we create for niche markets, we actually end up creating for everybody. And here's how that works. At Starbucks, I had the opportunity to lead an amazing initiative that was focused on building community stores in moderate income neighborhoods, and also within those stores carrying culturally relevant, locally sourced baked goods from minority owned businesses. So, how do you build these product stories at a company like Starbucks that is a pretty well oiled machine and doesn't really deviate from their typical plans? The answer is typically in the data. So, one interesting insight that I noticed pretty early on was that consumers across both the Latin American diaspora and the African diaspora tend to like just two drinks at Starbucks. They over index significantly in those drinks. And number one is a caramel frappuccino, and number two is Starbucks original drip coffee, the Pike Roast. This single insight was then an unlock to co-create community-based, culturally relevant assortment that not only worked for these specific community stores, but also because it's a flavor profile that the general market knows and loves as well. This allowed for those products to be carried at neighboring stores to the community stores market and increase sales, increase sell-through on pastries, as well as increasing attach rate. So if you are someone who's building in the niches and you're starting to get frustrated because you feel like people don't understand your vision, don't get frustrated just yet. There are ways to translate your vision into business impact that can be clear for those who don't share your same lived experience, and the opportunity may not be as obvious to them. Number one is to identify the total addressable market. So, very similar to what Tracy and Emma articulated in the podcast. How many individuals are you providing a solution for that are either underserved today or not served well at all? And then, if you are addressing that market, what is the customer lifetime value of that person? So, how many times are they likely to come back and buy from your brand again and again and again? Easy one. Another way to communicate that value, particularly if you're working with retailers, is showing them that you are bringing a new consumer to their stores. So at Starbucks, there's a very specific consumer profile who goes to Starbucks very regularly. So if you're able to show a retailer that you're bringing a new customer to them, whether that's somebody who's younger, older, newer to the category, or newer to shopping that retailer for that category, that is also a huge way to demonstrate value. So to all of my builders, keep building and keep building for the niches, because when you serve the niches, you best serve the masses as well.